Squat, bench, and deadlift are killing your gains. I'm kidding. But let me tell you why I personally don't do them myself anymore, even after doing power building for years. So, to start off, before we get further in this video, squat, bench, deadlift are all amazing exercises, and I do them every now and then, just I don't plan them in regularly like I used to. And there's a few reasons for that, and I'll go over them, but don't let this video completely change how you train. Just take it as something you could try in the future, or something you already agree with, you know? Something that's fun, something to change your training up and really get you thinking differently and working differently. So me personally right now, I'm training for a bodybuilding show, right? So, you know, bodybuilders, you know, you're not going up on stage squat, benching, and deadlifting. No, that's powerlifting. So I have decided that I'm not going to really bench, squat, or deadlift for the time being because it just takes such a high toll on my body. It takes me so long to recover from these movements that from a hypertrophy standpoint, it just isn't worth it. So I've taken them out of my programming. Now, when I say that it's taking a toll on my body, it's basically like when I squat, bench, or deadlift, my entire body gets used so much that by the next time I have to either do it or for the rest of my workout, I'm just so fatigued that I can't perform as good as I can. So, you know, I'm not progressive overloading over time as well as I could be, which is hindering gains. And that actually is hindering your gains. Now, it still happens, but slower. So when I don't need to bench, squat, or deadlift, why would I? Because I don't need to progress them. I have no need. I'm not hopping up on stage and trying to pull 500. And when it comes to fatiguing, you know, if I go and I can squat double my body weight, right? So I do that, and then I do some back off sets. When my next leg day comes around, my hips are going to be done. My everything is just going to be done at that point because I was so fatigued from that day of squats that now my next leg day is messed up. And that really can impact someone's training, and it makes it not worth to do them. And my knee tendonitis flares up every time. There's my toll. The body toll is rising. My back, my knee, my hips, broken. So I can't even do a full regular leg day the next day. That is an issue. Alright, so now that we're on from, you know, the fact that squat, bench, deadlift, they're fatiguing. We all know it. We're all tired doing them. Especially if you're doing 5 working sets. Even if you're doing 3, I'm dead. So we understand that. We realize that. And we realize it's taking away from other training. You know, if I flat bench 2 plates and I hit 1-2 reps on it, right? When I go to do my incline dumbbell press, it's not going to move the same. I'm not going to be able to do my 80s or my 85s. I'm going to be stuck doing 70s or 75s because my press power is just so fatigued. So, to eliminate that, we just take away the bench. Alright, so we understand that the SBD is fatiguing. So now I want to move on and talk about like hypertrophy. So as a bodybuilder, you're not necessarily training for strength, but you are through progressive overload because add weight, add reps, bam, you'll get stronger. So to train hypertrophy, you need to train close to failure at that specific muscle, and you need to be able to overload at the same time. So each of these movements isn't the best for that. It isn't. A barbell back squat, a sumo, or even conventional deadlift, and a barbell bench just aren't going to be best for that. I will go in and explain each of them. Alright, so let's start off with the barbell bench, right? So I'm benching. You'll see a lot of people out here. You'll see a lot of people here. So my arms are going to be here. The bar is touching my chest, right? If I have dumbbells, I can really come in here because your chest is going to work across your body. So I can really come in here and get this far back, right? So here, I can't get this range of motion with a barbell because it's on my chest. The rep is already basically done. But with dumbbells, I can get that. And having that extended range of motion already makes it a better movement for your chest. So that more range of motion is going to be better. I mean, think about people who are squatting to 90 degrees versus people who are under 9 degrees. I mean, clearly the under 90 degrees are getting better work for their legs. So think about that in the bench sort of way, you know. Here, versus here. You get that more range of motion, which is going to give you that better stretch on your overall chest at that point, which is just going to lead to better hypertrophy, which leads to more muscle growth, which leads to more progressive overload, which eventually comes back to strength, right? Also, with bench, I mean, what are you doing after bench? After a heavy bench, you're not going and incline dumbbell pressing your usual weight because you're just fatigued. You know, so now you're taken away from your other workout. Your tricep workouts aren't going to be as good because you just damage your triceps. Your front delts, garbage. Like, it is over at that point for your workout. And at that point, it's over. Like, your workout is done. You benched. That's all you get. And in terms of bench, if you're failing your bench rep, think about it. Oh no, I couldn't lock out. That's my triceps failing. Oh no, I couldn't get it off my chest. There's my shoulders failing. I'm not failing because of my chest. So I'm taking my shoulders or my triceps to failure when I should be taking my chest to failure? How is that supposed to work? How is that training my chest intense? It's not. And that is a big issue with barbell bench. Now, barbell bench, I love it. I enjoy barbell benching. I really do. Pausing, long pauses, whatever. But when I'm trying to bodybuild, that is not going to be my focus. All right, so we have bench. Why it's not good for hypertrophy. More range of motion with dumbbells. You get that better stretch of your chest fibers. You're not able to train your chest close to failure versus training your shoulders or your triceps to failure. And just taking away from your other chest exercises. That's solid. A good reason that if your goal isn't to bench 315, that you don't need to do it to build a good chest. So let's move on. All right, squats. Everybody's favorite. Leg day. So, squats. You got that bar on your back. Getting your quad dominant moving. A little more hamstrings. So squat low bar. You fail, you have to bail, whatever. Let's talk about why it's not that good. So, a lot of people have terrible ankle mobility, don't trust their knees, don't know how to squat. So their range of motion isn't going to be ass to grass. Ass to grass, more gains. Lower, more gains. Simple. But if you go on a hack squat or a V squat machine, where hack squat you're targeting your quads, V squat you're targeting your hips through either hack squat with a knee flexion and V squat with a hip flexion, you get more range of motion out of that. Easily, right there. Bam, more gains on the table. Now also, when it comes to squatting, you know, I'm squatting, I'm doing good. My last rep, I'm kind of shaking. I'm not shaking because my legs are failing the movement. I'm not. Simple as. I'm failing because, oh no, my upper back rounded a little too much. Now my positioning's off, but I'm good morning the bar. Or, oh no, my core is failing, so I'm really hunched over at this point. Or, oh no, my shoulder's starting to hurt, so I'm losing my bar placement. It's not my legs that are like, we can't do this anymore. It's the rest of my body giving up before my legs do. Your legs are going to be the strongest part of your body. That's why you can leg press so much. So your legs failing you on a squat isn't happening. Meaning you can't even train your legs that close to failure on squats. It's almost impossible unless you have someone forcing the reps. Which, yeah, you could do, but then you're pushing past failure and increasing injury of the other parts of your body that we just talked about were failing. So you go, you take that squat, you change it into a Smith goblet squat, a hack squat, a V squat. Oh man, I could go to failure and nothing's stopping me but my legs. Nothing. Oh my god, I'm hack squatting and V squatting less than I can normal barbell squat because your legs are now all focus. You're not using your core as much. You're not using your shoulders. You have pads helping you hold the weight. You're not using your back. You know, it's a fixed path. It's just legs. Like we mentioned earlier, I mean, legs, strongest part. You're not failing because of them. So now that you can take them to failure, legs are going to skyrocket, man. They're going to shoot up so quickly versus the barbell squat. And I like barbell squatting. I really do. I like SBD, but they are just not the best. All right. On top of that, going back to the fatigue thing, my hips are already garbage. I don't know about you guys, but if my hips are garbage, they're going to be even worse after squats. Or if your knee is garbage, they're going to be even worse after squats. Oh, now I have to go do leg extensions where I'm using my knee through knee flexion for my quads. That's going to hurt. Oh, I have to go do hip abductions, adductions. I have to do like a glute raise. Oh, that's not going to be good on my hips or my knee at that point. You're taking away, again, from the other exercises to better other parts of your body. That's an issue. All right, so main things with squat. We covered bench. We covered squat. Squat, taking away your hips and your knees and other stuff from the other exercises because you're not recovering from it and it's doing so much. You can't train your legs to failure very well on them. Most people can't get the desired range of motion to really get as deep as they can due to the positioning and mobility issues that they have themselves. So, time to move on. And the most worthless one on our list today, deadlifts. Whether it's sumo, whether it's conventional. In fact, especially if it's sumo, and I pull sumo. They're not good. I'm telling you right now, I don't care if Chris Bumstead deadlifts, bro. I don't. It is not going to build you that muscle that you think it is. It's great for strength. I love deadlifting. It is so fun. Picking up heavy weights, slamming it down. I love it. I really do. It took me a long time to get good at it. But it's not doing much for your body. So I have been working my way doing lat pull downs with 205 recently, real strict, kind of like pausing, letting tempo back up. It's going great. Friday I decided deadlift. I don't do super heavy. I pull a single 365, right? My rep range that day was 3 by 8 to 12. The session before that would have been probably like 6 to 12 or 6 to 10. Something where I could hit it, intense, but I've hit it. So now I have 8 to 12. I haven't hit 8 to 12 before. I think I got like 10 on my first set. By my third set, I was done. I think I hit like 6. That's not even in my rep range. That's how low it is. You wanna know why? Because I deadlifted it. Because I fried my upper back on deadlifts. Did I train my upper back to failure? No. Was it near failure? No. But it took away from the rest of my upper back exercises. It put me to failure closer on them, but that's not what I need. Because my progressive overload says I should hit a 3 by 8 to 12 at 205. Instead, I hit like a 3 by 6 to 10, which I hit the last session, meaning there was no progressive overload. And without progressive overload, training go way down. Might as well just not train because you're not going to get stronger. You're not going to put on muscle. Progressive overload is going to be your key factor of working out. So why would I deadlift if it's not going to let me progressive overload? Because it's fun, sure. But if I'm in a strict bodybuilding phase, why would I do it? Go ahead, explain. Go ahead. Comment. Pause the video. Comment. You wouldn't. That's why. So not only is the deadlift so fatiguing that it is taking away from progressive overload, what are you really overloading on a deadlift? If you fail a sumo, it's probably your start position. It's not your back, it's not your legs. It's probably your start position. You just didn't have the start position. Oh well. You didn't fail it because you're training intense. You failed it because your positioning is bad. My fault. You conventional deadlift. You fail it. I couldn't lock out. Okay, well, you failed it because you couldn't use enough hips or you couldn't use enough, back. You didn't train your back till failure at that point. You could still go rep out something. Like, you're not... The goal is to be 1 to 2 reps off of failure. You can even go 2 failures sometimes. But doing a deadlift where the weight is spread out over almost your entire body, you're not going to get that same intensity as if you go hit lat pull downs for your upper back. It's not going to be the same thing. I think that covers all deadlifting. I mean, you spread the weight over your entire body, so nothing's really failing itself. There's so many factors to it. It could even just be your positioning, simple as. And then it takes away from your other parts of your workouts, so your progressive overload has gone downhill. That's a big no-no, because now you're not making progress, which is you're not building muscle, which is you're also not getting stronger, all at the same time. Terrible for routines. All right, we've gone over every single SPD, why I think that you shouldn't do them if your primary focus is really bodybuilding. And I mean, they're fun to do every now and then. Like I said, I still do them every now and then. But they shouldn't be your focus going into the gym. I've told you why. They're so fatiguing. They take away from progressive overload. They take away from your workout that day. You recover so slowly from something, and you're just gassed all the time. And you're never training that muscle close to failure. So with that being said, if you guys want to squat, bench, and deadlift, do it. They're fun. I have videos up on my page explaining how I set mine up. They're a great time. I really do enjoy them. And if you're a power lifter, don't take this to heart, man. I've done it. You know, I've gone and competed with friends. Like, it's a good time. It's my focus is just not that right now. So, controversial video over. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was a little more informational to you. If anyone has any questions, feel free to comment them. I will make a video in the future about them or answer them right there at the spot at that point. And if that's not enough, I'll give an in-depth video on them. But everyone go crush your sessions today. Take your pre. There's code in my bio there for 20% off. Fucked up. Not to be that guy, but I'm that guy. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this video doesn't drag on too long or doesn't sound too just repetitive, but this is how I feel about it. And this is honestly just some opinion, some that just it's person to person, how fast you're going to be able to recover, but it is just facts about, you know, in terms of the hypertrophy and taking away from your other workouts. So that's simple. I hope I was able to teach you something or give you something to think about. Maybe change up your workout and see how it feels. So, again, thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Get a great workout in. Get some crazy pump that you've never had before. See some new veins or hit a PR. Even though I just told you not to SBD, hit a PR on them anyways, if you do. Thank you.